Hello, welcome to Madras Cafe Unlocked. My name's Ansuman Biswas and I'm here to support Action Village India. Action Village India is a small UK-based charity that works with organisations in India to support women, children and men in some of the remotest parts of rural India so they can access their rights and improve their livelihoods and their resilience without being held back by gender or caste or religious beliefs. Their support is founded on partnership and solidarity, the two principles at the heart of Action Village India. As you saw in the video just now, losing the income from WOMAD this year comes at a critical time for Action Village India, as their partners are mobilising to respond to the needs of local people affected by COVID-19, as well as migrants returning to their villages. So whilst Madras Cafe Unlocked is a free event, I'd like to encourage you to stand in solidarity with Action Village India and make a contribution to them to support their work. You can make a donation on the festival website through the Donate tab. That's at www.madrascafeunlocked.co.uk/donate. So today I'd like to share a few videos from my own archive which are inspired by the themes of the Madras Cafe, food and rural India. I'm sitting here in London, but I was born in Bengal and part of me is still there. So I feel very connected to the soil of India, and even though I'm far away, I'd like to express my solidarity with those people who can still touch it. So the first piece I'd like to show you is a short film. It's an animation which celebrates the tribal art of the Varli people of Maharashtra. It's a film I made in 1990, about 30 years ago now, with the wonderful animator Shilpa Ranade. It's called The Harvest. This next piece was made in 2014 for the ballroom of London's South Bank Centre. It's called Alap and Alpana. You're going to just see a short extract from a 24-hour long ritual, which involved song, dance, sculpture, conversation, cooking, and communal feasting. Alap means conversation in Sanskrit, and it's also the name for the contemplative exploration of sound before a classical musical composition begins. Alpana is the term for a kind of floor painting from Bengal. Floor paintings in many cultures and using many different kinds of material draw attention to their own creation and destruction. So they refer to the ephemeral nature of the world. And they also celebrate the unfailing support of the earth. In this case, I'm using grains of rice to evoke the cultural patterns of tilling, sowing, tending, harvesting, and eating. The pattern was created over 24 hours, during which I grew the design along with a constant drone using tanpura and voice. The songs by Rabindranath Tagore were based on the cycle of sowing, tending, and harvesting of rice. At the end of the 24 hours, the rice was gathered into the center of the space, boiled, and eaten by all the participants.
অতিথি বালক তরুদল মানবের স্নেহ সঙ্গানে চল চল আমাদের ঘরে চল আয় 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 আমাদের অঙ্গনে আয় 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 আমাদের অঙ্গনে অতিথি বালক তরুদল মানবের স্নেহ সঙ্গানে চল চল আমাদের ঘরে চল আয় 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 আমাদের অঙ্গনে আশীর্বাদের স্পর্শনে আজি শ্রাবণের বর্ষণে আশীর্বাদের স্পর্শনে পড়ুক মাথায় পাতায় পাতায় অমরাবতীর ধারা জল আয় 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 আমাদের অঙ্গনে অতিথি বালক তরুদল মানবের স্নেহ সঙ্গনে চল চল আমাদের ঘরে চল আয় 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 আমাদের অঙ্গনে আয় 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 আমাদের অঙ্গনে
সহাতে মোদের ঘরের আগুন, ঘরের আগুন সারা বছর ধরবে দিনে রাতে মোদের ঘরের আগুন। মোরা নেব তারে দান, তাই যে কাটে ধান, নেব তারে দান, তাই যে কাটে ধান, তাই যে গাহে গান, তাই যে সুখে খাটি মোরা ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি। আয় রে মোরা ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি। বাংলাদেশে ছিল ছায়ার মায়াঘর, রোদ এসেছে সোনার জাদুঘর, সোনার জাদুঘর। বাংলাদেশে ছিল ছায়ার মায়াঘর, রোদ এসেছে সোনার জাদুঘর, সোনার জাদুঘর। শ্যামে সোনায় মিলন, শ্যামে সোনায় মিলন হলো মোদের মাঠের মাঝে, মোদের ভালোবাসার মাটি, মোদের ভালোবাসার মাটি যে তার সাজলো এমন সাজে, মোদের ভালোবাসার মাটি। ওরা নেব তাদের দান, তাই যে কাটে ধান, নেব তাদের দান, তাই যে কাটে ধান, তাই যে গাহে গান, তাই যে সুখে খাটি মোরা ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি। আয় রে মোরা ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি। আয় রে মোরা ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি। আয় রে মোরা ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি। আয় রে মোরা ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি, ফসল কাটি।
So this next piece is specially chosen for Madras Cafe Unlocked, and it continues with our themes of food and rural India. It's from a piece called Season, which I made in 2003. Season was a 4-screen video installation which grew out of an exploration of the Southwest film and television archives, and also my interest in Rabindranath Tagore. It was developed during a residency at Dartington, during which I was exploring the multiple paths connecting Bengal and Devon. Tagore recognised the mutual interdependence of the poet and the peasant. His appreciation of the roots of culture in agriculture led to the founding of Shantiniketan in Bengal and Dartington Hall in Devon, where soil and soul were equally tended and where education, creativity and industry were consciously tied to rural rhythms. While I was working on this piece, my grandmother in Calcutta died. So Season is structured as a set of dualities. The 4 screens portray birth and death, music and dance. They also show images of East and West, of present and past, of science and superstition, of bodily labour and the industrious machine, of saturated colour and grainy black and white, and of earth, air, fire and water. Audible and visual echoes reverberate and reflect between these opposites on the 4 screens, and they're held together by the recurrent motifs of food and work. Colourful scenes from a Hindu funeral during which members of my family engage in ritualised food preparation and feasting are juxtaposed with grainy archive footage from Devon of sweet factories and cheese making. Rice threshers in my ancestral village provide a rhythmic soundtrack for a silent film showing silage makers in pre-war Devon, whose drudgery gradually transforms into an ecstatic country dance. The drunken folk songs of Devon scrumpy makers mingle with the Sanskrit chants of Brahmins pouring ghee on a sacred fire. The complex ceremonial actions around the dead body of my grandmother mirror the elaborate costumes and paraphernalia of a birth in 1970s Watford. So in the version you're about to see, you'll catch a glimpse of the installation, and it's prefaced by a poem weaving together my own memories of my childhood in Bengal and catalogue entries from a Devon film archive.
Reel 12, can 8, 9, juggler. 1, 2, mango tree in basket. Matrix. I have a dream. Its beads are drying, as the waters of the Ganges did from my skin when I washed off the grief of loss. I am playing in my family's arms, pacing as I dance, free of care, the shining arcs of urine like laughter everywhere. I am walking by the edge of the jungle, my cuts soothed by its intricate juice. The leaf escapes me now. Where the jungle was is a stone house. I am pouring white liquid over the blank shaft of the universe. My mother whispering in my ear and guiding me my hand. My grandmother pressing a honey-dipped finger between my lips. My ancestors are filing past me. They heap grass and seeds upon me and water me with tears from their eyes, beseeching me to grow. My father is squeezing the heart of a mango until its sweetness pours through his fingers onto mashed bananas, rice, and milk. He is laying a plate of leaf and a woolen seat for those who will never come again. I am in a bower of jasmine. The new world spread before me. A young woman clothed in silken petals comes, and outside the door, an old woman sits all night with her ear to the door. Now you have gone to sleep, Hamma, and the sudden silence startles me awake. Our past is asleep, and our future too, and in our present is only coming to and falling. Memories and dreams mingling into a stream of stories that slip continuously through my fingers. The basket of stories has gone leaving only evaporating ghosts, like ponds in the sun and dreams in the morning mist. Box 10, number 2, dot 23, 16 mm jungle. Mark Clare Archive, call September 008 mm color. Library log X3913 Reel 3, boy on heathland, boy on rocks. Reel 8, boys in wilderness. Sharp call September 01, library log X4106. Can 6 children in red skirts. Can 5 Atlantic swell children now pink skirts. Can 7 cancers country seas. Can 7 can 9 country seas. Can 11 harvest. Quayside. Reel 12, Can 8-9 Javier on to Mango Tree in Bath Street.
The next piece was a performance I made in 2004 in Somerset in response to a call for digital media works in rural environments. I decided to spend a few days blindfolded with nothing but a video camera and to throw myself on the mercy of a village I'd never been to. I had no idea where I was, so this is an exercise in trust. Here's a little flavour of what happened to me. I think this is some kind of sign. It's a sign. Yeah, it seems to be some kind of metal. Hard to know how to introduce myself into people say I've met a couple of people now. People say, "What are you doing?" And how do you start a conversation? I can't see what kind of people they are at all. Just say I'm a visitor, I guess. And try and explain what I'm doing. It's hard to explain, really. I'm just here, been dropped here, got a blindfold on, going to be picked up in a couple of days, and that's it. I guess it's up to people if they have time to engage in conversation, to listen and talk, then the conversation can flow, but I guess it's two ways. I sort of wonder if there's something I should be doing to really engage with people, but anyway, I'm happy to just sit and listen and feel very quietly at the moment.
Right.
Well, the same button.
Oh.
It starts and stops.
Oh, what's the red one? I pressed the red one. Right. Oh, I don't know where we are now. Oh, it's probably recording now.
It might well be.
Right. Try again. I can't even see what I'm recording because it's so bright.
Well, maybe, where's some shade that we can find?
Still recording. It says recording in red. Hello?
You want to come out the way so you can reverse in?
Oh, okay. Where should I go?
Come this way.
Are you doing an experiment?
Yes, I know you're doing an experiment.
You've
I
met
know it's
about.
coming.
Are you Mrs.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know. Oh, you do the
Stand
B&B as
there.
well, do you, Jenny?
Yeah,
Ah,
do
it's
everything with
lovely.
Yellow Village Shop. Come out the way, we'll run you over. That's it.
I'm trying to turn this recorder off, but I can't. Is it supposed to be red when it says record? Does that mean it's not on?
No, does it say REC in red?
In red?
Yeah, that's right. That means it's recording.
Oh, God.
So if you press it again, it'll
I
stop
keep
recording.
trying to record it and it doesn't go away.
Well, if you press the green button again.
What's I'm doing?
Shall I? Where's the?
I can't make it work.
People are very kind and tolerant. Okay.
I'm pointing the camera at you.
All right.
Directly behind you is a prison pound, which my mate built, Jim.
Your mate Jim
Yeah.
built a prison pound.
Yeah. You
feel the little
and,
door.
I
and
thought you said it was built like years ago.
yeah, it was, but it was destroyed, and then Jim rebuilt it again because Jim's an old stonemason.
Okay.
Dry stone walling.
Yeah, and behind you there's a bench dedicated to someone.
Right.
Over to the left of you again is a phone box.
Okay.
Over to the right of me is the church. Just beside the church is a little walkway where my mate's sitting.
The metal railing either
You go
side,
up past the walkway,
Okay.
and you walk all the way up the top there. There's a little iron gate. Walk through there, bust a left, and you can't miss the pub, you know, because it smells like beer. You know what I mean?
So that prison pound, why was that rebuilt?
Rebuilt.
Is that are people put in there?
Yeah, well, no, it's not people. Well, we can do if you want to, but you know what I mean?
The door's
Like,
open there.
yeah,
I
but
thought it'd be locked.
like he built it because it's how it used to be years ago.
Okay.
Like many years ago.
Back to its original.
BC, like before cornflakes and that shit. You know what I mean?
Is that what BC means? I was
Yeah,
wondering.
yeah. And over to the right of me again is the village shop and post office
Right.
and Pete's car. And down the road there, well, shit, man, Romans built that. That's a road.
Is that a Roman road?
Yeah, well, no, Romans built most of them, innit?
Right.
You know, like, but then there's houses to the right as well.
There's about 6 cottages on the right going down.
Yeah.
and joined together.
There's a little place that says Braunton House, which is a bed and breakfast where you're staying, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's called Gorton House.
Braunton.
Gaunton. Braunton.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then right next to that is a tea room called Gifford's Tea Room. Don't ask me why it's called that, but that's what it's called. There's a Peugeot car. There's a dustbin.
So you both live here? I chose this next piece to draw a connection between the village and the city, and also between East and West. It's a short film which follows a group of boys who find the cracks within their policed and prescribed urban environment. Is freedom easier to find in the village or the city?
Ghettoing!
It's about exploration mostly. Can't really remember the name ghetto, you know, where it actually came from. It's about kind of exploring places, mostly about where you're not meant to be.
someone who can give light into the darkness.
Okay. It's really dark in there. Okay. Let's go for it. Oh! Give it the camera. Come on, set the camera. See anything? You're falling down there. Yeah. Sort out the lighting now. Jack, take this and give the camera. Sort out the lighting camera now. Yeah. Okay. Good man. Okay, let's go up. Let's go up to the. You can't get up that way. Do you want a hand? One, a metal. Wait. Alright, let me sort out the lighting now. Jack, take this and give the camera. Sort out the lighting. Yeah. Woo. Okay, film quiet.
Okay, and then once you've got the lighting.
Oh my god, that's it. You found the roof. Let's go for it. Now. Bang.
Here's another short film I made with the animator Shilpa Ranade. It's a story about the status of women and girls in rural India, and it seems particularly poignant now as so much of the world is in lockdown. It's called Money's Dying.
Being away from home made my sorrow worse, but I didn't tell anyone about Money's dying. There'd only been daughters after me. In true Indian tradition, sisters had to look after sisters. Elder brothers had to marry off younger sisters. This diabolic business went on in our house too. But that Manutai should die, this I didn't like. She was a very quiet girl, quiet in her work, in the way she sang, in the way she went to school. Mother used to say, she's got no brains, that girl. If somebody upset the pot of milk, Mother would say, that must be money. When Mother was pregnant, during Mani's time, she used to say, the third one must be a son. But instead, there was money. That year, there was an epidemic of smallpox. 50 children in our village died, including her. Grandmother was all set to leave for the winter pilgrimage when Mani was gripped with a high fever. Mother asked grandmother, must you go this year? Grandmother unpacked her things in a huff. She said, for the sake of her daughters, I have to give up even my God and religion. What makes her think they're going to get smallpox? Grandmother had uttered the dreaded word, and Mani was red all over. Our neighbors stopped visiting us. Only the two women remained in the house, neither speaking to the other. I used to receive letters from father. Our cotton crop fetched a good price. The elections are over. The first floor has been pulled down. You are our only son. The glory of the family rests with you. Think only of your studies. And I really did study. Then all of a sudden there was this letter. Mani died of smallpox. Don't take it too much to heart. Last vacation it was Mani who was smiling, brought me the comb as I was leaving for Pune. This vacation I wouldn't see her. I received another letter from mother. Do not grieve too much. You still have 3 more sisters. The pox on Mani's body grew as big as lemons. Scowling continually, grandmother looked after her. For little Nali's sake, mother did not go too close to Mani. Mani used to raise both her arms to say, lift me. When the pox had swollen to bursting, mother went and sat by Mani's bedside. She just sat. Nobody in the house was allowed to come near the bed. To stop her from scratching at the boils, Mani's arms were slipped into long thin sacks, but she scratched through the cloth and tore the boils open. Mani would say, free my hands. Mother once asked her, Manutai, what is it you want? Water? Mani didn't reply. Mother said, speak, Mani, speak. Tomorrow you won't be able to speak. But she didn't speak to mother at all. Grandmother said, Manutai, what shall I ask big brother to fetch you from Pune? So she said, a red sari. That's what she used to ask me to get her each time I was home, and each time I would say, next time for sure. Gradually, her voice went dead. The throat must have been full of boils. She had already lost her sight. From the other side of the bed, mother would call out, Manu, and Mani, both her arms pinned down like Christ's, would strain her eyes in mother's direction. She can still hear, grandmother said. 2 days later, without even bathing her, they buried her outside the village. Along with her, they buried everything that had touched her bed. I was in a rage. I'll murder father and grandmother. Mother, I'll burn alive. To die this way. I ran about like mad. Sometimes I just sat. At night, I walked countless roads in Pune. Once, when a policeman stopped me, I said, "My sister died." After this, I began to like my three sisters. At Sumi's wedding, everyone bustled about with joy, mother too. If, sometime, I saw her laughing aloud in company, I wanted to ask her, "And what about Mani's dying?" When Mani died, I didn't write home at all. I kept receiving letter after letter from mother, so I wrote back, "Stop writing to me." In answer, mother wrote me a very long letter. Then the college planned a trip to the caves at Ajanta. I said, the caves might help me feel better. So I went to Ajanta.
And finally, a short extract from a film I made with Jem Finer about 20 years ago, which puts race back into the space race and questions the power of the military-industrial complex. People have been exploring other worlds for thousands of years. The Zero Genies, poverty-stricken, slightly uncoordinated adherents of an ancient sect, are here to show that spaceflight is not the exclusive preserve of the rich and rational West. You don't need thrusting rockets and tons of fossil fuels to explore the universe when you have a comfortable carpet and a well-packed hookah. Well, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this selection of films, and if you did, I encourage you to stand in solidarity with Action Village India and its partners in India. Please make a contribution to support their work with rural communities, and you can make a donation through the event website's Donate tab. That's at www.madrascafeunlocked.co.uk/donate. Thanks for joining me today. Goodbye.